Am I the a-hole for exposing my husband's affair with his girl best friend at a family barbecue after his father told me to get over it? I, a 29-year-old female, have been married to my husband, a 31-year-old man, for 5 years. We've had a good relationship overall, but there's always been one issue. His girl best friend, Megan, a 30-year-old female. She's been in his life since childhood, and while I've always felt a bit uneasy about their closeness, I trusted my husband and tried to be cool with it. Megan is always around. She's at our house constantly, they text all the time, and she even comes on family vacations with us. Every time I brought up how their friendship made me uncomfortable, my husband would brush it off, saying she's practically a sister, and that I was overreacting. To make matters more complicated, my mother-in-law, a 58-year-old female, is amazing. She's always had my back and has told me multiple times that if Megan made me uncomfortable, I should talk to my husband about setting boundaries. On the other hand, my father-in-law, a 60-year-old man, has a very different attitude. He adores Megan and has always said that she's part of the family and that I just need to deal with it. He thinks my discomfort with their friendship is just jealousy. Fast forward to 2 months ago. My husband started acting distant, coming home late, being secretive with his phone, and just off. I had a gut feeling something was wrong, so one night I went through his phone while he was in the shower. That's when I found out. He and Megan had been having an affair for months. I was crushed. I confronted him, and he admitted everything. He swore it was a mistake, said he loved me, and begged me not to leave him. I didn't know what to do, so I stayed quiet for a bit, trying to process everything. A couple of weeks later, my in-laws hosted a big family barbecue. I was still reeling from the affair, but my husband convinced me to come, saying we needed to keep up appearances while we worked things out. I went, but I was a wreck inside, especially knowing Megan would be there. Sure enough, Megan showed up like nothing had happened, acting all friendly with everyone, including me. I was boiling inside, but I kept it together. Then, during dinner, my father-in-law made some offhand comments about how Megan would always be part of the family, and that I needed to get over my insecurities. He said this in front of everyone. That was my breaking point. I stood up, looked straight at him, and said, "You know what? I would get over it if she wasn't sleeping with my husband." The entire table went silent. Megan's face turned white, and my husband tried to calm me down, but I wasn't having it. I told everyone exactly what had been going on. The sneaking around, the lies, the betrayal. My mother-in-law was furious, but not at me. She laid into my husband and Megan, saying they'd destroyed our marriage and disrespected me. My father-in-law, though, had the audacity to say I was overreacting and that affairs happen, but I shouldn't have aired it out in front of the family. He even defended Megan, saying she made a mistake and we should all move on. I left the barbecue and have been staying with my mom ever since. My husband keeps begging me to come home, and my mother-in-law has been supportive, but my father-in-law is telling the whole family that I'm the one causing drama and blowing things out of proportion. Edit, based on what you guys are saying. My mother-in-law and I are very close. Should I show her what you guys are saying about my father-in-law possibly cheating and see if she wants to look into that? Their marriage has been very rocky, and she has been wanting to get out of it. But he has been the breadwinner for years. Edit 2, there are no kids involved. My soon-to-be ex-husband can't have kids. Not sure if this counts as a mini update. After seeing some of the comments about father-in-law maybe wanting to sleep with Megan, I asked mother-in-law if there was something weird going on there, or if she knew if he'd cheated before. They have been married for a long time. He's cheated 10 times. One that you guys might find important is he slept with Megan's mother. Maybe that's why he loves her so much. As far as she knows, he didn't sleep with Megan. The other 8 were people he worked with, and one of them was an old high school friend. I will also be researching for a lawyer tomorrow morning. A little in-law history. My father-in-law has always acted like he's untouchable. He's the breadwinner, always in control, and never lets anyone question him. My mother-in-law has put up with his affairs and toxic behavior for years, but she's finally had enough. Their marriage has been rocky for as long as I can remember, but Susan stayed because she felt trapped. Rick made sure she was financially dependent on him. One of the father-in-law's affairs before Megan was born was with Megan's mother. And based on what you guys pointed out in my last Reddit post, mother-in-law now thinks father-in-law might actually be Megan's father. It's something that never fully clicked for her before. But the more she's thought about it, the more it makes sense. Father-in-law always treated Megan like more than just a family friend. He's obsessed with her, defends her no matter what, and insists she's practically family. Now, we all have to wonder if it's because she literally is. Every time I expressed my discomfort with how close my husband and Megan were, father-in-law was quick to brush me off. He'd say I was just jealous and that Megan was basically like a sister to my husband. But after finding out about my father-in-law's past with Megan's mother and seeing his unwavering loyalty to Megan, I can't help but feel sick. When I exposed the affair at the family barbecue, my father-in-law didn't even seem surprised or upset like everyone else. He acted like it wasn't a big deal and told me I was the one overreacting. His reaction makes me think he knew about the affair all along, maybe even encouraged it, given his weird attachment to Megan. Now the mother-in-law has finally decided she's had enough. She's divorcing father-in-law and has demanded he get a DNA test with Megan. If he refuses, she's done for good, though at this point she's already made up her mind to leave him no matter what. The DNA test is just to confirm what we all suspect, that the father-in-law has been hiding this massive secret for years. I'm disgusted thinking about the lies we've all been living with, but at least now, my mother-in-law and I are finally ready to move on and leave the mess he's made behind us. Here's a backstory for Susan based on the Reddit story. My mother-in-law is one of the strongest, kindest people I know, but she's spent most of her life living in the shadow of her husband. From the outside, you'd think they had a perfect life. Father-in-law was the breadwinner, and mother-in-law was the loving wife who kept the family together. But behind closed doors, she's been dealing with father-in-law affairs and controlling behavior for decades. Over the years, she's confided in me, especially as our relationship grew stronger, and I learned that she's been living with the pain of his infidelities for as long as she can remember. Father-in-law always held the power in their marriage. Financially, he kept mother-in-law dependent on him, making sure she couldn't leave easily. Emotionally, he manipulated her into thinking that his affairs were just something men do, and that she should stay quiet to keep the peace. It's heartbreaking, really. Mother-in-law was always the one holding the family together, making sure everything seemed perfect on the outside, even when father-in-law was off cheating behind her back. Despite everything father-in-law has put her through, mother-in-law is an incredible person. She's always had my back, especially when I found out about the affair between my husband and Megan. While Rick dismissed my feelings, saying I was overreacting, my mother-in-law was the first to call them both out for betraying me and our family. Watching my mother-in-law find the strength to walk away from father-in-law has been inspiring. She's been through so much, but now she's ready to live her life on her own terms. It's been a painful journey for both of us, but at least we have each other's support as we move on from the toxic mess that father-in-law and my soon-to-be ex-husband created. Little mini update 2. Mother-in-law told father-in-law to get a DNA test with Megan, or she's divorcing him. He said he would try to schedule something for tomorrow. I'm very glad I came to Reddit with this, or some stuff we are finding out wouldn't have come to light. If Megan is my husband's sister, that would be hilarious and would be their problem. Also, mother-in-law is getting a divorce no matter what, but he doesn't know that yet. Yes, I will be helping her with a place to stay, and she wants to get into real estate with me, so I'll be trying to pull some strings and help her out in every way I possibly can. She has seen all the comments and, with Reddit and my support, gave her the strength to leave. It's a painful situation for both of us, but I'm glad we are going through this together, so we can have each other's support. When the DNA test results come back, if it for sure happens, she will be cutting off my ex-husband and father-in-law. I also wanted to say that the father-in-law was sleeping with Megan's mother for maybe a month or two. That's why mother-in-law thinks the timelines add up. And yes, my father-in-law knew about the affair that boils my blood. He isn't even a decent enough human to tell me about it. If it was me or my mother-in-law cheating, both my father-in-law and soon-to-be ex-husband would be very pissed. My husband did try to contact me, but I was told not to block him, but it's getting hard to ignore the text. Please don't go through with it. We can fix this. I will cut her off. I'll never talk to her again. It was a mistake. Come back, come, please. I want to talk things out. You didn't turn your receipts off. I know you are seeing these. Please answer me. Please, I just found out she might be my half-sister. I don't want anything to do with her. This is a very hard time for me. Please, come back. You just don't care about me. You're a terrible person if you don't come back. What if she is my sister? Are you just going to leave me alone during this time? Melissa, please come home. I want a life with you, not her. I'll tell my dad to stop inviting her to family activities. You will never see her again. And then Megan reached out too. Her messages were vile. You're an a-hole. Who's this? I replied. Megan, I can't believe you would tell our whole family about this, and now I have to get a DNA test, so I can find out if I've been sleeping with my brother. You made this whole thing so much more drama than it had to be. I see why he cheated on you, and do you know what he would say about you? He said after you two got married, he thought you were disgusting. You are disgusting and a stupid woman. I hope you really go through with the divorce, then he can be mine. You are a terrible person and a terrible wife. What kind of wife are you if you won't cook and clean for your husband every day? I know I can treat him better. I fired back. Okay, so that might be your half-brother, but you would still date him. Do you hear how gross that is? If anyone disgusting, it's you two and your little family affair. I never cheated on my husband, so don't call me a terrible wife, and I did everything for him. I cut friends off for him. I cut family off for him. And I did everything he asked. How did he repay me? By cheating on me. You both are gross humans, and I would prefer if you don't contact me anymore. Her response? Oh, get over yourself, that is basic wife things. It's sad that he had to ask you to do things instead of you just doing them. You work from home, how hard could it be? You're just a lazy, and I hope you never find love. They have an appointment in an hour, so the results should be back in a week or a week and a half. For the people that said to send her his text, I did send Megan the screenshots of what my husband said, and I am waiting for a response. Her response, he's lying to you, just to make you look dumb and take him back. Are you dumb? It's so obvious. I answered, whatever you say. She answered, why would he want to actually get back with a lazy wife like you? You must be delusional. I apologize for the delay in this update. The results came in very early today, and I've been researching whether they could face any legal issues over this. It turns out they cannot unless they decide to get married. They are half-siblings, and in the post I linked, my mother-in-law messaged me about it. I'm unsure whether I should be happy that they are siblings and are experiencing pain similar to what they put me through, or if I should be sad because I literally got cheated on with his half-sister. My father-in-law claims he had no idea, and my mother-in-law is waiting for a reply from Megan's mom. Megan is crushed that they can't get married, and my soon-to-be ex-husband is disgusted. According to Megan, they made a mutual decision to remain together despite any challenges they might face. On a different note, my ex-husband has been reaching out to me frequently, expressing his desire to rekindle our relationship and suggesting that we should get back together. Tiny update. I recently discovered that my husband was not the only man in Megan's life. It turns out she is pregnant with another man's child. My soon-to-be ex-husband is adamant that he wants nothing to do with Megan or her baby, which complicates things even further. Now I'm faced with a difficult decision. Should I inform the wife of the other man about this situation, knowing it could have serious consequences for everyone involved? I spoke to the wife about a difficult situation, where she presented an ultimatum to both Megan and her husband. She told them that Megan has to either agree to act as a surrogate and hand over the baby once it's born to the husband and his wife, or she must choose to terminate the pregnancy. If Megan doesn't comply with either of these options, the wife indicated that she would likely leave her husband. The wife reached out to me via text to reveal that Megan is seriously contemplating the idea. My soon-to-be ex-husband is firmly set against the idea of having a child and being with Megan. She believes that if she gives up the baby, he might rekindle their relationship. Just wanted to share a little update. He signed the divorce papers and things are starting to fall into place. He stopped talking to Megan, though the ex-father-in-law still chats with her occasionally. My ex-father-in-law also signed the divorce papers with my mother-in-law. It looks like we're on the path to freedom. Now you know the whole story, please tell me. Am I the a-hole for exposing their affair in front of everyone at the barbecue? Should I have kept it private? Or was I right to call them out after everything? What would you have done in my shoes?